hypotheses and the last week's customer interview questions, just to get everything together. And I'm glad if I can help you to improve your canvas and your hypothesis today. And then I will introduce you to the validation plan. So basically, what do you do actually with each individual piece? We will create a plan out of that. And then at the end, I will explain you what the project handout is, or actually the validation plan, which is then part of the homework for in 2 weeks class, and which will also help you, which is basically already part of your report. So as I said, if you're homework properly, you will not have so much work at the end. So you can continuously work on your project plan. All right. Before I start, I as always wanted to ask you. Oh, now it's Ray here. I will let her in. Hi, Ray.
Hi. Good afternoon.
Hi. Good afternoon. We just started. I just mentioned what we will do today. We will go over the lean canvas hypothesis and customer questions. Then I will introduce you to the validation plan. So what you will do with all those individual puzzle pieces. And then I will explain what the homework is. It will be the project handout or part of the validation plan. But before I start, I wanted to ask you, what did you learn in the last lecture, and how are you feeling with your homework? Was it easy for you to create the questions, or did you have some problems? I'm starting with the first one in the list. It's Chen Su. Could you just share what did you learn from last time, and how was it with the homework? Was it easy or difficult?
It's not difficult with the homework because I use what we learned in the last course, and all those principles of question about first ask customer about the past behavior, and let's then talk.
Yeah, that are good points. Thanks for sharing. You want something else?
And don't ask customer or user to tell you what to build. Never pitch your own opinion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, nice. Thanks. All right, then, Ethan, what about you?
Well, what I feeling is close to Chen Su, which is I do think well, I do think the last what we learned from the last lecture is a little bit like how to do the things right. Not
what
only.
Do you mean? What do you mean with the things?
Well, you know, the mom test is testing for we did where how should we get close to our how should we get close to the answer we want? Not just not just imagine how the others will believe.
Okay, I don't understand what you mean. Could you repeat it?
I mean, you know, in we shouldn't just imagine what kind of answer we will get, and we should do more to learn focus on the so-called.
You mean like that you rather should think about the right questions and not so do not focus so much on the answer?
Yeah, focus more on the questions to get the real in-need information rather than just random answers like yes or no.
You mean like the open-ended questions?
Yes.
Yes. Mm-hmm. All right. Good. Then, Chia-Wee, what about you? Yeah, I think at the end, we're skipping a bit because okay, then Ray.
I learned the customer interview from the last lecture, and but I don't know why we cannot show our idea to our customer, because I think if they know my idea, maybe they can know more about our products and service. So maybe this is my question. And after I done my homework, in my opinion, I think the keywords and the questions and my idea about my business, maybe they have some connection, but I feel they have connection, but I don't know what connection between them. So I try to modify my homework, but I don't know how to modify it better, because I don't know the three homework. I don't know the connection among the three homework. So yeah, that's all. Thank you.
Yeah, Ray, that were good questions. To your first question, why shouldn't we ask about why we should not show the existing product already? You should do that, but not in this state at the moment when you want to get a validation of your idea. This would be rather like a feedback talk or a feedback meeting. But when you show something to this person, he will be very influenced by your existing product. And you saw that with the MOM test. The person will probably tell you what you want to hear, and not what he's actually feeling or thinking. Because when I show you something now, you are already primed and you already see the solution, and then you're answering completely different things than if you ask about past behavior. I think you can you can do also a bit, like for example, in the case of some food or some dinner plates, or in general, like something everybody has to have, something, let's say, standard, that is maybe not so complicated to validate. But if it's like a technology product, or if it's a new solution which does not exist so really in the market, then you really should ask about past behavior, and you should never show the existing idea. What you can, of course, do is you start with asking past behavior, asking open-ended questions, and then you have the answers. And then at the end, you say, hey, do you know why I ask you all those questions? Because I have this idea. What is your feedback? What are your concerns? And what do you miss? Who else can I talk to about this idea? So after you ask those questions, you can go into the feedback round to learn more. But you should always start with asking about past behavior. And regarding your second question, I think we will talk about this today. You will see everything coming together in the validation plan. So I will answer you hopefully later. Cool, thanks. All right, Xiao, what about you?
In last week's class, we learned to do some consumer surveys to ask some questions relating to our plans and help us make improvements. For me, this assignment is not difficult, but I think this question may not be helpful enough. I think it's a little hard for me to focus on the main points to ask questions.
So the problem is to find the right questions, or what do you exactly mean?
I think there are many things to ask questions, but I don't know which one are more valuable.
Okay, yeah, cool. Then we will go through them just in some minutes, so we can discuss them, and hopefully it will help you to understand what's more valuable and whatnot. Cool. Thanks, guys, for the feedback. So just as a repetition, right? So we are now into step 4. We wrote down the assumptions. We identified critical assumptions, and we converted the assumptions into hypotheses, which we will now test with our experiments. And last week we spoke about 3 experiments. It's a landing survey, an interview, and with those 3 we will continue now to understand them better, and I will help you to actually start those experiments. As you already repeated very well, these are the following guidelines for creating good questions for custom interviews. So ask about past behavior, ask why many times, so always open-ended. They should talk most of the time. You should just ask the questions. Don't tell them what their problem is or what you think their problem is. And as already mentioned, do not say what your product is at the beginning. You could do that after the interview, but not before. What you basically want to achieve with such an interview is 2 things. First is to learn about your respondent, about their problems, about their life, and about their challenges. And secondly, you want to confirm commitment. So if you see that they invest the time into helping you, if they even already told you or signed some kind of check or some order, that's great. That's a good sign that the people are really interested in finding a solution for their problem, and they are willing to pay money for it for time. Okay. One example of a landing page I showed you. This is a very nice example of if you want to sell some physical products, some shoes, for example. You don't have to produce them before you're trying to sell them. You could work with a landing page and place the order, like the button pre-order. So you can first check, okay, is that actually a product people want to have, or is that a product nobody wants to have? And before you actually pay any money in production. So now the Lean Canvas. Let's go through Lean Canvas really quickly. My question is, if you was everything clear for you in the Lean Canvas? Did it help you to identify and narrow down more the problems of your idea? Ethan, did you change your idea, or did you work with the same problem as before? So Ethan, that's the same problem as before, right? So you didn't change your plan?
I didn't change this one.
Okay, but you want to change it, like the questions are for the other plan?
Yes, I already did that.
Okay. Yeah, maybe for next class you could maybe post it in this Lean Canvas here, so we have a good overview. That would be great. Okay. So does somebody have a question, or does somebody feel insecure about some of the data he or she put in here in the Lean Canvas? So if nobody says here, I assume that you all understood it and that it's all clear. If not, please just let me know and we can go over it. Okay, if nobody has a question, I assume everything is fine. Hypothesis and assumptions, the same thing. Okay. Any questions here? Okay, also not. Then we will go now into your homework, and I'm very curious what questions you prepared. Let me make it full screen. Ray, your question is the priority in the, you mean in the hypothesis and assumptions?
Yes, I don't know how I don't know why the priority is 9, for example, 9, 8, 10.
Yeah, perfect question. So what does a priority means? Basically, it means, imagine if one of your assumptions is very critical. So if you find out that people, for example, your assumption here, your assumption is, I believe I can build customized menu and deliver the meal fast because I have access to nutritionist, dietitian, cooperative fitness apps, and develop food delivery industry in China. Imagine you do not have the contacts and you are not able to build those customized menus, then you don't have a product, right? So then you don't have anything to sell. So this is a critical assumption, which you need to test before, because if you don't have a product, your business is not existing. So that is why the priority here is very high. And that basically, yeah, this is the meaning of the priority. The higher the priority, the earlier you should test those assumptions, because why should you test a critical assumption at the end or after 2 weeks? Then you basically worked on it for 2 weeks and it didn't help you at all, because at the end you find out you cannot build the product. Did you understand, Ray? Ray, I think you're muted.
Oh, sorry. I think I understand. It is the things I should do the first. So it is the 10 priority.
Exactly. It means those assumptions or those hypotheses you should test at first. That is the meaning, basically, because it would be a waste of time if you do that later and then you find out that they are not true.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thanks for the question. Okay, so then let's go into the questions. So the first one, Su Chen. So maybe can you quickly say what is your, in 1 or 2 sentences, what's your business idea? And then we can go over the questions.
My business idea is dinner order service.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So it's delivery service for dinner.
It's not only delivery, it's for some people who don't have time for cooking their own dinner, and in other hand, they want to have a very healthy diet.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Okay. Okay. So then let's go through your questions. Do you usually have dinner? If not, please share your reasons. Yes, good question. What's the average time you spend preparing dinner in the past 2 weeks? Yeah, also a good question. Do you think you have enough time to prepare your own dinner every day? If not, please share the reasons. Yes. What's the average cost of your dinner in the last week? Yes, good. Maybe question 5, you're asking about, let's say, a feeling or emotion. So what do you think of healthy diet with balanced nutrition? Why don't you ask, how often do you eat healthy food in the last weeks? How do you define healthy food? Which diets did you try out in the past? And so on, you know? So again, ask them about their past behavior and not what they think about it, but what they decided in the past. Did you get it, Jen? Or Sue?
Yes.
Cool. But most of the question already looked good, perfect. So then shall we? Mm-hmm. Yes. Okay. And these questions are all direct to students, or are they also for the math teachers, professors? Mm-hmm. Okay, so that is good for their part. Just think about how critical it is to to find the math teachers. I don't know if it's critical, but if you think that it will be hard for you to get teachers on board and get the professors to help you, you may also think about doing an interview with those kind of people, because you want to find out more about them as well, not only about the customers, but also about the math teachers. And that's the problem or the challenge in platforms, right? You have two sides. You have on the one side the teachers, and on the other side the students. So if you do interviews for such a business idea, you always need to ask those two, not only one side. But those questions for the students look good. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like that. Okay, Xiao. Can you quickly describe your business idea, Xiao?
Through these surveys, I want to find out if a lot of people are concerned about their office environment and different professions, people hold different attitudes. And if there is a shared office, everyone can choose their working environment they like to improve work efficiency. On the other hand, I want to know everyone's acceptance of the price.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And what are your? Let me jump back. What are your assumptions? Okay, so you identified this assumption as with the highest priority. So you want to find out basically behavior about past office leases and so on. Yeah, for example, here's a question 7. That's about something in the future. If you want to ask it correctly, you could ask, which facilities in your current office do you use most often? Then you have something about past behavior. Also here with the, do you expect more venues in the office? This is also a question about the future and not about the past. Yeah, and I would ask also about like more, what do you like about your current office? Where do you spend the most time, and so on. So maybe you could exchange those two questions, which are about the future, and ask more things about past behavior. That I think would be good. Okay, could you just quickly describe your new plan B?
The plan B is trying to make advertising in the S-Bahn or U-Bahn tunnel on the outside of the train on the wall, and when the train comes, the LED tube will show the different color, but the train is moving, so just like the other kind of moving, when the train runs quickly enough, it's become a moving picture.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I get it. Okay, so here it's again two sides, right? You have the people in the train, and you have the advertisers, right?
Yes.
So here's also the question. It's also some kind of platform. Your customers are actually not the people in the train, but the customers are the advertisers, or not?
I think both, because if the people in the train not interested in that, if it doesn't work, then my business is meaningless. And also, we need the support of the company who run this train. So I don't think it's maybe half.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. I think what you want to achieve with the advertising is better experience in the S-Bahn or in the tram, U-Bahn.
Mm-hmm.
That's correct. So yeah, what you want to ask the people in the train is definitely about their past experience. So maybe if you find out if they are scared when going through tunnels, that could be a good argument for you. Hey, we show you a nice advertising which will make you happy and not scared, something like that. Okay, but then here clearly you should also prepare some questions for the advertisers, because they will be basically also very important to learn about. Then let's go through your existing questions. What do you do when you take the subway? How much time? How do you think about the Athens subway station? Yeah, the last question, the wouldn't it be cool if we turn subway winners into screens? That's a question about opinion and the future, and not so about the past behavior, right? So
Yeah.
Maybe you could ask here something about the appearance tunnels, for example. How do you feel when you go through tunnel with a subway? Or which experience in the U-Bahn did you like the most? Which experience in the U-Bahn you hated the most in the past?
No, actually, this question is my starting point is actually asking the people, when you take a train, will you look outside of the window? You get
Yeah.
it? Even because a lot of people, if even the U-Bahn or S-Bahn may running outside of the tunnel, so people will look at beautiful views outside. But when the train get into a tunnel, it's go dark, so people no longer watch the windows anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So that's also asking their habits maybe.
Yeah, so you can ask what do you do when the U-Bahn goes in a tunnel? Yeah, good point. Yes, sure. Okay, so that's right. Again, like also prepare some questions for the advertisers, and also prepare questions for the networks, like the infrastructure, right? Because probably they need to agree on putting advertising on the walls of the tunnels.
Yes.
Okay. So Ray, could you quickly?
My
Yeah.
target customer in the fitness beginner, because
it. And I also can because I want to open a restaurant, so I also can provide their food and deliver to their office and the school.
Okay, cool. Okay. Yeah, your questions. Maybe you could also ask some more questions if diet meal is actually something they do or they eat, right? So, have you been on any diets lately, or what do you associate with diets, or which diet do you know which works very well for you, or something? You know, so to find out if they are actually looking for diet meals or not.
Yeah. I want to through these questions to know how the beginners think about the diet meal now, because I think the thought of the Finnish beginner is different. It is changing and different. So I want to through this question to know more about my target customers. And then I can figure out my business ideas, and I can change my strategy or something like this immediately.
Yes. Okay. All right. Good. Thanks for sharing. Then
Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks. Chiawi, sorry. You had a question in the chat. Could I cooperate with a MOOC? Yes. So your idea is that you upload a course via a video on those platforms, and then you target students, or what's the idea behind the question? I mean, it's a good way how to approach or how to access professors and how to access trainers or math teachers. But still, I would always ask them before, because you never know. Maybe they just did the course for themselves and they are not willing to help you. So you should always also ask them. It's a good idea to go through MOOC platforms, learning platforms, and identify 10 trainers, 10 math teachers. But then I would still ask them your question, just to be sure. Yeah. All right. Okay. So let's see. Thanks a lot for those questions you prepared for your homework. Now I would like to test actually interviews. So you have prepared the questions, but in an interview you need to practice before you actually go out and ask your real customers or your real target groups. So I thought that we could go into breakout rooms. I think you all know how it works here in Zoom. So do you all know breakout rooms? Have you made any experience with it before? If you did, please make a sign. And okay, so you don't have any experience with breakout rooms?
I'm afraid
No.
not.
Okay. Okay. No problem. I will then explain it to you. So what I will do is I will automatically with Zoom. You can just stay inside Zoom. That's no problem. And then there will pop up a window, and this window will distribute you to breakout rooms. Breakout room is basically you will go into a room with one of your fellow students. And then when you're in this room, you have, let's say, 20 minutes. You have 20 minutes time. So each of you has 10 minutes for asking the questions and actually also noting down the answers and trying to practice how you ask the questions, and also what's your question, Ray?
Is it the room? Because I know it. Maybe it is to reduce the psychology pressure, and as far as I know, in Japan and in China, there is some company they build breakout rooms for the deep pressure person. They can spend their money to for example you can I say 點講
No, I think it doesn't. It's just.
Oh, okay.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
You can destroy everything in the room and to reduce your pressure. So
I think it's what I mean is nothing with psychology. It's just a feature of Zoom, where basically I click on a button now, and you get a pop-up, and you say yes, I want to go into this room, and then I will match you with one of your colleagues, and then you have time. 10 minutes each, and your task is that you go basically through your interview with your fellow student, and you should actually also write down the answers, and at the end you will see which questions maybe are not so well formulated, which are unclear, which questions you need to maybe ask more in the front, more in the back, more at the end. And this is just the first test. So because after in the next weeks you should go out and ask random people. So I thought that it's a good practice for you just to ask the questions with your fellow students. Okay, so let me. I will. And one of you will work with me, as we are 6. So we have 3 couples, like 3 rooms. In each room there are 2, and we will just hold the interview. Is that clear for you?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. Also for the others, so what you just need to do is you will click on the button in a few seconds, and then you will be in a Zoom call with one of your student colleagues, and then your task is for 20 minutes. There will be also a timer. So you have 10 minutes each to ask your interview to your colleague, and please also make the notes and take the answers. And then at the end, we will just do a feedback round, what you learned from that, and if you could improve your questions. Okay, does somebody have a question? Please mention now. Or if all good, please raise the finger. Thanks, Tian. Thanks, Jen. Thanks, Jen and Ethan. All clear? Ethan, all clear? Okay, somehow Ethan is not responding. Ethan, are you with us?
Yep, I'm back.
Okay. All right. Did you understand what we're going to do now?
Yes, we're gonna have a discussion.
Yeah, like there will be a window popping up in a few seconds, and which will tell you to go into a breakout session. So this breakout session is just basically a Zoom with one of your fellow colleagues. And in this call, you have 20 minutes in total. You will have time for 10 minutes asking your questions and actually going through your interview. And please also take answers and notes and try to understand which questions are maybe unclear, which questions you need to improve, and get a first idea of how good your interview is. And if with your answers, if you can actually understand and validate your hypothesis. And then in the other 10 minutes, your colleague will ask the questions and you will answer. Okay?
Got it.
All right, so I will click on the button now. Okay, let me see. Okay, we cannot go into 3 rooms. We can only go into 2 rooms. So let me see. Yes. So please, in one group, you will have 3 students. So please just do the interview. Oh wait, let me see. Maybe. Yeah. Okay. That's not good. Okay. So in one session there will be. Yeah. Sorry, one sec. First time I'm doing this as well. Okay. Okay. So yeah, I will do 2 rooms, and in one room there will be 3, and in one room there will be 2 students. So please just ask. I will give you 25 minutes. Okay. So you have like roughly 8 minutes for asking the questions and probing the interview. Okay. All right. So let's test it. And let's do one test. So I will go to the breakout sessions and then I will bring you back. One second, just click on the button. Okay.
Hello。
行，来吧，互相提问。
其实我刚刚就想跟老师说，这完全可以用微信搞定，只是我不想浇灭老师的热情。
谁先提问？你先问吧。 这怎么57秒钟关闭？
啊？What the
赶快
fuck？
赶快问2个问题。
我的发57秒1分钟，他是不是设错了啊？对啊，但老师这个出了点小问题，可能就他的意思就是我们相互之前先问一遍，然后那个看一下有没有找到什么问题，相互检查。我们先等1分钟，如果没有。Just 1 minute.
Yeah, it was just a test.
Yeah, it's working fine.
It's working fine. Perfect. Thanks. So I just checked out that I'll jump into session. So 2 times 2 people. I will now start the real breakout session, and I will give you 20 minutes. So each of you has 10 minutes to work on it. Okay.
Yeah, got it.
All right. Okay. Cool. So then let's go.
我们对，就是他现在是2个人一组，然后我们互相提问吧。好，看一下。Do you usually have dinner? If not, please share your reason. 好，第一个就是也没有弄完，因为这个我这些问题是怎么说，不是给学生的，是给就是已经工作的人。你是想自己是这个工作，还是说对？对，就像我想象自己学高数人。好的，对的，很有道理。就是做饭，买菜肯定比买。对，每天做饭大概花多久时间？半个小时。哇，你好快。好的。差不多。这是因为工作还是自己不想做？ 啊，就好，因为工作。对啊，可是在德国这边真的吃不起，这吃一餐就是包括酒水的话，至少20欧，那就是160。对的，那这都算正常的。对啊，就是你在德国这边，你随便找一家那种有荤有素的，就是差不多16、17、8，然后包括酒水2欧，就是20欧。如果你要吃那种贵的海鲜的话，哇，那就30-40欧根本拿不下。在中国这个外卖太方便了，不想吃随便点。啊，好吧，这个问题其实感觉在中国非常的不合适，你就那这3欧嘛，3欧，好吧，3欧可能在这里就只能买一盒西兰花，好吧，那我就写3欧吧。嗯，第5个，对，就是鸡胸肉嘛，鸡胸肉配番茄。哦，还有一个问题，第五个后面还有，对，就是你觉得你现在饮食健康吗？嗯，好，一般。就是你有自己的饮食禁忌吗？就比如说你是素食主义者，或是你不吃主食、谷物这样。啊，好的，你就是肉食主义者。嗯，哦，嗯，然后感觉这种就是比较健康的这种订餐怎么样？啊，好吧，那就是有新鲜感。好的，嗯，质量和味道。嗯，就是原料 原料又很干，然后各种调料它也不会加，就弄点盐水煮一煮。我也觉得可能哎，没有办法培养长久客户，大家今天就放弃了。对，最后一个问题就是你怎样的广告方式会比较吸引你？哦，比较是健身房还是健身软件？啊，好的，行，好的，谢谢你的回答。其实没有，因为我是学德语专业的，就不学数学，第一个问题就没有了。对啊，文科好像除了管理学要学高数之外，其他也不用学高数。你本科是学什么专业的呀？最不喜欢的科目，嗯，历史。嗯，历史。好，那不是那就假装是数学吧，假装是数学。那我就假装想象一下我高中时候的数学，代入一下，假装我在大学里学的高数。不满意。嗯，应该就是做更多的训练题吧，题海战术这样。使用过，就比如说以前我用过有一个可以搜题的软件，就是你不会写的题目可以搜一下，可能会有答案和解析。一周一次吧。 应该是上网搜索吧。没有，我只使用过他们那种软件提供的免费服务，然后如果是那种私教的话，没有使用过。对，你就是没有花费过。啊，no，啊，应该是离开吧。对，或者就是等待，或者是等在这里，然后等它这个时间结束就自动返回。好的，好的，好的，那我闭麦了。
All right, so everybody back? So we are missing somebody.
No, everyone is here.
Everyone is here. Oh yeah, true. Correct. How did you like it?
Well, actually, we found some trouble because our target group is the customer in Europe in German. But if I ask a Chinese, the answer can be totally different, you know.
Yeah, we made the same experience. I was in a room with Ray, and Ray also asked me as a German, but she was rather focusing on the Chinese market. But what is your learning from that? So if you start asking a person and you figure out with the first or second question, oh, this is not my target group, what do you do then?
Actually, I will ask more question about their opinion toward
Make
our
you become my target customer. I can I can provide more service and product to you.
Yeah, I think what I mean, if it's a very clear target group, and Ethan, in your case, you want to clearly want to ask some German people because your product should be in Germany, then I think it's pretty hard to ask somebody from China. That's correct. But for example, in Ray's case, she asked like if I'm confused with diets and if I do not really know so much about food and nutrition, and I said no, I know quite a lot about it. So then she this is nothing like this is somebody you can still ask questions to. For example, how do you learn about nutrition? Why do you know so much? How many friends do you have who knows a lot about nutrition? Why do they know so much? Do you have friends you know which don't eat healthy? So you still can get something out of this person. You just need to switch a lot your questions, and that's also the part of this practice. The questions, I mean, preparing the questions for those interviews is important, but always be flexible because if this person may answer something really interesting, and you should always ask the next question according to this interesting fact, right? So be flexible and just keep on going, dig deeper. So ask more and more detailed questions, but only open-ended and about their past behavior, right? So not something in the future. Yeah, but I think for the first practice, I hope that the breakout session helped you. I think what you should have learned is be prepared for the questions and have something have some structure how to write down the answers, because when you do, let's say, 15 interviews, you also want to see some patterns and you want to see some repetitions. So what I always do is I have an Excel file. On the left side there is my question, and on the right side on this vertical or horizontal line there are my interview partners with a name, and then I post the questions next to each other. So then I see what each of those interview partners actually answer to the questions. And if I see that all of them answer they have a problem with this and this, or they don't know how to solve that in the past, this is some indicator for you. Oh, yeah, that's something I need to, my solution is good for example, you know. So this, I hope it helped you a bit. asking the questions. Now I suggest you do a little break, if you are okay with that. So let's meet here again at 4:10, so in 15 minutes. Is that okay for you?
Yes, that's big one.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So let's meet here in now 17 minutes. So at 4:10. Cool. See you.